We're talking push trucks, PA posse, really big right rear wheels, and racing on dirt. From Silver Dollar to Williams Grove, Eldora to Devil's Bowl, and of course, Knoxville. This is Winged Nation, presented by Hercules Tires. Now your hosts, Steve Post and Erin Evernham.
Hello again. It is MRN Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tire, talking sprint car racing, our favorite time of the week. And we are so glad you joined us, Erin Evernham and Steve Post, and we've got a lot of ground to cover. And we're also going to cover a lot of ground with our guests. Donnie Schatz, here we go again. Donnie Schatz joins us a little bit later on. Sam Hafertepe Jr., the American or ASCS, my God, I get them all together. ASCS Speedweek champion. He'll join us. And Alan Kreitzer getting ready for Pennsylvania Speedweek. He's the promoter of Lincoln Speedway. He joins us as well, so it is going to be a great weekend. Let's see. So we've got Craftsman World of Outlaws. We've got Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour. We got Pennsylvania. And then I spent time in Ohio.
Yeah. Tell us all about it.
Oh, my gosh. I am here to report and happy to say that the state of sprint car racing in Ohio is very, very strong, Erin.
Yeah.
It's, unbelievable. I hit night number 1 and 2 of the Articat All-Star Circuit of Champions Ohio Speed Week. Attica on Friday night, standing room only crowd, 46 cars.
Was that your first time at Attica?
No, I've been to Attica 3 or 4 times.
Okay.
I love Attica.
Yeah.
Attica has got to be probably in my top 3 favorite racetracks.
Really?
I love going to Attica. It's just so good. I love going to Attica. I can't get there enough, okay? So I'm glad I made Attica. Saturday night, Waynesfield, Raceway Park, a new track for me. And this was larger than standing room only. They added temporary grandstands, sold those out. And the biggest crowd in the history of the track, 47 sprint cars, plus the NRA sprints were there as well, 22 or 23 of those guys. I mean, the pit area was full of sprint cars.
That's cool.
Crowd was huge. Opening night, Kyle Larson won, so everyone was all fired up because Kyle Larson was in town. Saturday night, the only thing that saved Waynesfield from complete destruction was that there was another race at Millstream, and everyone ultimately had to leave because Sheldon Hodenshield and Kyle Larson went at it.
That's awesome.
This is a really cool little quarter-mile, high-banked, wide racetrack.
Yeah, I've never been there. So.
Oh, it's fantastic. It is a great racetrack, okay? And so when Larson and Sheldon, and really there was a bunch of other guys involved in it, all got into lap traffic, it was insane.
Chaos.
You're watching and you're not believing what you're seeing because one lap, the inside was the quick way around the lap cars. One lap, the outside. You know how it is. The leader is at a disadvantage.
Yep.
It was
That's
nuts.
Cool.
It was insane. And when Sheldon Hodenshield won that race, I literally thought they may just destroy the place. But the Ohio fans, I mean, they're all respectful. They love the racetrack and everything. I think they just went and bought T-shirts from his mom, Patty. Because I'll guarantee you, well, first off, you walk in there, and I bet you if it's not 50%, it's close to 50% of the people there are wearing some T-shirt with the name Hodenshield on it.
Really?
Unreal.
That's cool.
Really cool. And then for Sheldon to go out and whoop Kyle Larson, I'm sure that Patty was slinging shirts. So cool. I mean, and really Ohio Speed Week rolls on. Millstream, Dale Blaney, Dry Slick Racetrack. Well, hello, Dale. There you go. And then last night, Rico Abreu. But as I was driving home from, I jotted down some things. When you look at Ohio, okay, what a strong portion of the country. Weekly racing, Attica Raceway Park on Friday night, just as we mentioned, that's a rock. Okay, Saturday, Fremont, Wayne County, and Atomic all run 410s on Saturday night. Okay, Tony Stewart's Articat All-Star Circuit of Champions, while they branch out beyond Ohio, that's still the home
Mainly
base.
based.
That is, okay? The Fast Series, which is a series between Fremont and Attica. They actually have a race at Atomic and a race at Butler this year, but the Fast Series is a great series between those two tracks that give a lot of money to the drivers. When you look at the Ohio Valley Sprint Car Association, which is Southern Ohio and West Virginia, the Ohio Sprint Car Series, which is Atomic and other racetracks, The 360 Tour with the NRA, and these guys put on a great race. I know this may shock you. I went to a 360 race in Ohio and saw Randy Hannigan win.
Oh, shocker. NRA race, too, yeah.
Yeah,
Can't believe it.
Randy's so great. So the 360s, you throw in non-wings, late models, all the other support divisions, and Ohio is just alive and well.
I love racing in Ohio. I always thought it was neat that everyone gives you directions to a track in Ohio by the water tower, but yet there's water towers everywhere.
That's a good point.
Just I always enjoyed racing with the All-Stars and just that whole area.
Great
area. People, and like you said, it's healthy there.
It's very healthy. The thing I like about it is you also have your big names. You have Blaney, Hodenshield, Danny Smith, Kemmenaugh. You have those names that are known nationwide. But you go to Fremont or Attica, and I'm telling you what, there's a guy by the name of Byron Reed that is going to be tough to handle. Brian Lay is the point leader over at Fremont. Chris Andrews, Stuart Brubaker, Brock Martin, names like that don't mean a lot to the sprint car world outside of Ohio. But I am telling you, you want to dance with someone that's going to dance with you, those guys will do it. We talk about the Pennsylvania Posse, and rightly so.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, Ohio on their racetracks has equally as good group of local regulars.
I would agree with that.
It's amazing. And then this guy. Oh, this guy. Look at his shirt. Craig Mintz T-shirt.
Did you bring me back some stuff?
I didn't bring you back stuff because
come on.
That Craig Mintz T-shirt. So I love Craig. Craig wasn't
come
racing.
back with all this good swag.
Yeah. Well, okay. And then this
what about
one,
for Craig? Anything?
Nothing for Craig either. Nothing for Craig either. And the coolest part. No. The coolest part is the whole experience. But they have a bar. It's called the Blue Room. It's in Kirby, Ohio. Okay, it's a sports bar. Okay, I'll get with that here in a second. But first off, they hand you a menu. Look at the menu. This is just the to-go copy. This is the menu, okay? This is a sprint car on the menu. I'm sitting at the bar, and you know how you are in your bar. Someone's talking football, someone's talking basketball, someone's talking this. They're never talking NASCAR, or they're never talking sprint cars except at the Blue Room in Kirby, Ohio, where everyone at the bar was like, man, did you see Larson last night at Attica? That was so cool and everything. So they did it now. And then I was able to get a T-shirt, okay? And so here's the front of the T-shirt, okay?
Wow.
It's just,
that's
look at
cool.
That. Oh, yeah, exactly. But the back of it is I got on my head, and it's upside down. That happens when you fall off a bar stool, apparently.
Yeah. Sometimes you get upside down.
Yeah, get upside down.
It happens.
So the Blue Room, so let's see, sprint car bar, which is unreal, okay? I don't know if anyone else has other than Dingus.
Yeah.
You've got Dingus in the Blue Room, so we've got 2 sprint car bars that I'm aware of now. If there's any more, let us know.
Beer.
Great racing action, great drivers, great series, great racetracks.
Sounds like a good weekend.
It was a great weekend, and fans all over the place. Now, used to be, I go to the racetrack, and I got one question. Where's Kendra? Okay, now I get 3 questions. Where's Kendra? Is still there.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you bringing Mrs. North Carolina to the racetrack? Ashley, who does our TV show. And when's Erin racing again?
Oh boy.
Yeah. It's like it's like, oh, hello, postman's here. Now I don't blame you folks. They're much better looking than me. I get it. I understand it. But the 3 questions I get now, where's Kendra? Are you bringing Mrs. North Carolina? And when's Erin racing again?
Oh, gosh, that's awesome.
It is so great what's going on, and Ohio fans, they love their Wing Nation, that's for sure, and we really appreciate that. We really do. And with that, I'm going to move on to Pennsylvania this next week. We'll talk about that later on. Let's take a look at our Velco Racing Wheels results page. Velco Racing Wheels made by racers for racers. Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour. Brad Loyat really getting his arms around the 410 program. Picked up the win Wednesday night and Friday night. Thursday night, Brian Clausen scored the victory. I know that's a shocker that Clausen wins. Saturday night, Lucas Oil Speedway in Wheatland, Missouri. Sam Hafertepe won the race and won Speed Week, and we will talk to Sam a little bit later on. World of Outlaw Craftsman Sprint Cars, Friday night, Donnie Schatz, 10th win of the year. We'll talk to Donnie later on, and he owns River City Speedway very, very much over David Gravel and Logan Schuhart. Schuhart really gave up a big fight. It's not going to be long before the Shark Racing team, whether it's Logan or Jacob, goes to victory lane. Sunday night, Brown County Speedway in Aberdeen, South Dakota. Shane Stewart picked up his first 5th win of the season over Joey Saldana and Donnie Schatz. Articat All-Stars, and we talked about it, Larson, Hodenshield, Blaney, and Rico Abreu. Those are pretty good names to win your first 4 races.
Yeah.
Pretty good names when you got a Larson, a Hodenshield, a Blaney, and an Abreu.
Yeah.
That's pretty stout.
No wonder they're selling out.
Yeah, absolutely. Really, really cool. National Sprint League, rain at Jackson. We're going to talk a little bit about Jackson later on. My gosh, those poor people up there, wow, they're getting, it's just bad. The weather has just clobbered them. Kerry Madsen won on Saturday night at Knoxville and Mason City Motor Speedway. Danny Lisowski scored the win. King of the West Series, Bud Kading, a last lap pass out at Stockton. Neal Tire Center's MOA Sprints, presented by Casey's General Store. Jared Hall, his 4th win in a row, bumper-to-bumper IRA Sprints. It was a Scotty Thiel weekend. He won at Sheboygan and at Sun Prairie. He is a former snowmobile racer. We talked to him on our weekend podcast a week or two ago.
Cool.
And really great young kid. Man, Scotty Thiel is another one of those great kids that we just love seeing come into the sport. Friday night at Lernerville, it was Turner's Tea for everyone. Carl Bowser picked up his first win of the season. Williams Grove, it was Tim Buckwalder, so Timmy B scored the win. Saturday night, it was Austin Hogue. At Lincoln, it was Joey Montgomery at St. Francis. And, well, of course, the regular in the race-winning segment, Greg Hodnett at Port Royal. 14th win of the season for Hodnett. 14th win of the season. Yeah, hell no Hodnett, exactly. And he will join us on Thursday on our Wing Nation Weekend podcast presented by Hepner Racing Products. So we'll talk about Pennsylvania Speedweeks coming up. Yeah, Hodnett's won 14, and we haven't even got into Pennsylvania Speedweeks. Oh, my gosh. So really has that car rolling, that's for sure. So great stuff here on the program. The Velco Racing Wheels results page. Velco Racing Wheels, made by racers for racers. More information, www.velco.com. Stay with us. When we come back, Donnie Schatz joins us.
Winged Nation with Steve and Erin will return in just a moment on MRN.com.
Classic Ink USA Screen Printing and Embroidery is constantly testing the limits of custom racewear and specialized embroidery. Headquartered in Western Pennsylvania, Classic Ink holds the highest standard, maximizing your return as well as the ultimate customer satisfaction. From track swag fanwear to quick crew wear, Classic Ink has you covered. Their dedicated staff and designers will keep your race team and fans looking sharp. Contact Classic Ink today and get your team ahead of the competition. www.classicinkusa.com. That's Classic Ink at the track and on your back.
Aggressive Hydraulics, where we engineer the cylinders that move your business. We specialize in crafting hydraulic cylinders and components with superior precision and performance, making OEM products stronger and creating more opportunities for distributors and repair facilities. Crafting cylinders that operate on a global basis in a wide variety of industries and applications. Get aggressive with your cylinder challenges. Aggressive Hydraulics.
O'Reilly. Restore lost fuel economy and eliminate rough idle with Lucas Fuel Injector Cleaner. Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, buy 2 bottles of Lucas Fuel Injector Cleaner and get 1 free. Clean clogged injectors and increase fuel efficiency with Lucas Fuel Injector Cleaner. Buy 2, get 1 free at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is Tony Stewart. You're listening to Winged Nation on MotorRacingNetwork.com.
Thank you, Tony. Welcome back, everyone. We're going to the guest line. It is the Hercules Hotline. Joining us on the Classic Ink pole position, the driver for Tony Stewart, Donnie Schatz, is on the line. Hello, Donnie. Welcome back to Wing Nation.
Hey, Steve. How you doing?
I am fantastic. Donnie, when you roll into a track like River Cities, like you did on Friday night, that you seem to have the deed to victory lane, what is that like? How a place like that, is there much change with it? How did it go last Friday night? Because it's almost like we automatically check it off, but I know it's got to be difficult to continue to do that.
It's just, River Cities is one of them places where, the racetrack's in real good shape all the time, and they give you multiple grooves, and we just seem to find a groove that we can get in that no one else is in. So I don't know that it's that we're that good there. We just seem to, be in the right place at the right time, and I've always liked going there. So I guess when you get close to home, you might push a little bit harder, but we're trying to do our best, just like we do any other night.
Donnie, your interview in Victory Lane sounded a little bit emotional. How much did it mean to win again that close to home and have family and friends there?
Oh, it's always great to be near home and win. You get to sleep in your own bed, and it's probably more important when you see all the people that you grew up racing around against, the fans. There's a lot of cheers. There's always going to be some boos, and that's probably a good thing. But you just see the crowd gets so into it when you're close to home that it feels like it's really the perfect event. And all my family was there, so it's great to have them there. And the kids just enjoy it. There's a lot of kids around there that had the good fortune of growing up around and the go-karters and all that. So got to have a couple of them in victory lane with us. So it's definitely an emotional time when you get yourself put in that situation.
Rich area of the country up there for sure, with all the short track racing and everything else. Chatting with Donnie Schatz, driver of the Bad Boy Buggies car for Tony Stewart Racing. Donnie, when we look at the 2016 season, we saw what would appear to have been an early season. I don't know if struggle is the right word. Not as many wins, I guess, is the right word. But now we're sitting here with 10. It seems to be rolling along well. When you look at that early portion of the season, were you working on some things, struggling? Was the competition level at a higher level that it's been? Kind of assess how things have been up until this point in the season. Looks like you're rolling now, but how have they been across the season?
Well, they're all the above, Steve. We're always trying things. We're always trying to get, try to get ahead. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do in the shock world and torsion bars, and Hoosier keeps changing these tires on us, so it throws a curveball to all these things. But yeah, you're always trying new ways to get things and do that. But the level of competition has been up there too. I mean, there's been a lot of different winners and all that. And when you sit and look back, people have asked me that question 100 times. Well, how do you think your season is? And I've said average. But anything is going to look average when it comes to what we had last year. The success we had with where we were. Ultimately, I don't feel like we're where we want to be yet. We don't have the feel that we're looking for. But most importantly is with the format changing, everything is really about qualifying. You got to qualify good, and you start on the front of your heat, and you're going to finish there. We haven't changed our focus on what we do. You have to be able to pass cars, regardless where you started. Yeah, we may not start near the front of the feature some nights, but being able to pass cars and still being able to maneuver around the racetrack is what's most important, because that's what's put us in the position to get the 10 wins we have. And, that's something we still continually work on. The qualifying, I'm not going to, change the way I've done things for the last 10 or 15 years and make it all about qualifying. I'll lick my wounds in qualifying and try to pass the cars in the heat race and try to pass in the feature, because it's either a give or take. You're going to be good at one or the other, but it doesn't seem like you can be good at both of them.
Donnie, you and Ricky have kind of set the benchmark on the Outlaw Tour. How much have you played around with the 18-inch wide tire in the Wicker Bill this year?
Well, the 18-inch wide tire was something that we really thought was going to be kind of the go-to tire when they did it. But obviously they changed some construction in the sidewall and made it out of a little bit of a harder rubber. So it's not just we went from a 16 to an 18. We went to a different sidewall, and it went to a different compound. So really it's a whole different constructed tire. And we spent most of our early races running on it all night. We've come to the point where we've realized that, maybe we don't get qualified well on it, but it probably races better at the end of the night. So there's nights we run it in the feature. There's nights we don't run it in the feature. But it just all depends what the conditions are. And, we've fought a tight condition with the race car most of the year, and that tire does help, free the car up a little bit. So when we need it, that's great. The 2-inch Wicker Bill, I'm not sure why they come up with that. I mean, I thought the goal was to unhook these race cars and try to get more wheel spin in it to, put it back in the driver's hands, and then we just added another inch Wicker Bill. I don't think that we've had a 2-inch Wicker Bill on all year. We've had a little bit bigger than one, but we've not gone all the way to 2 inches. So I guess that's something that's there if need be. But, we try not to let that dictate what we do with our race car. We know we can get our cars right. We just got to make sure we make all the other corrections and not worry about the Wicker Bill.
Donnie, answering questions from another driver, Erin, is she understands all of this. In layman's terms, when you change something, like you haven't gone to the full 2-inch Wicker Bill, or you change tires, can you describe to somebody that's never sat his butt in a sprint car, and a lot of our listeners haven't sat their butt in a sprint car, how much different is that?
how much different is it to just sit in a sprint car?
Well, no, when you make a change like that, like let's take the tire, for instance. When you go with a different tire, I mean, can you describe to someone that's never been in a sprint car what the difference is or what it feels like? I know it's a tough question because you're not in that spot. I'm asking you to describe something that you're not there. That's the challenge. But I've not been in the race car. How big a difference are these changes?
They're not huge.
Okay.
You know, I'd say with the younger drivers, they don't really know it, the changes as much. You know, it's such a minute change with some of the younger drivers because, man, there's a lot of good young kids out there, and for some reason they figure out how to run these things harder and more over the edge and out of control than some of us have been racing for a lot of years. You know, you learn to race a certain way and get a certain feel, and then you get that, and then it just keeps changing and changing and changing. And there's really nothing wrong with that, but some of them things that you learn over the years, maybe the younger generation doesn't really apply to them because they weren't around to see it change from this to this, so they don't really know what that feel is, and that's something. It is very hard to explain to somebody, but we go back to every once in a while comparing things to back in 2006 and 2007, and that far back, but man, things were drastically different then. You know, we had different wings, we had dish wings, and we had tires that grew, and so it's you can think it, but it really tell you back to back it, and you can't do that on race night. The only way you can ever back to back anything is, you go test somewhere and you make 2 laps one way, and you change it and go 2 laps the other. That's really the only way. But we don't get them opportunities very often to go do much testing, so it's pretty hard to explain.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. It's a tricky thing, and I try to put myself in a driver's seat. That's why I love having Erin here, because she can talk with you and understand it, and I'm just trying to sort out what you guys do and the amazing things you do. Off the racetrack, we've talked to you at times about the car wash, Schatzland up in North Dakota. How are things going at Schatzland? Everything good up there?
Everything's going okay. I'm just trying to figure out here this morning whether we're going to put an extension on our wash to dry cars indoors in Fargo this winter. We have that luxury in mind, and it works out real well. So just trying to keep on top of things. Obviously, the next month we get to do a lot of racing, so I don't get spend as much time as I'd probably like to stay on top of that. But it's a daily thing, and it never goes away. So, but I enjoy that.
I know you do, and it's so cool to watch that aspect of your life as you continue rolling along here. Well, Donnie, congratulations, 10 wins this season, the point leader here in the world of Outlaw Craftsman Sprints. We'll catch up with you down the road, I know, but look forward to that. But best of luck this weekend as you roll along.
All right, guys, thanks for having me.
There we go. That is Donnie Schatz joining us on the Classic Ink pole position, screen printing, embroidery, shirts, hats, hoodies, towels, hats, T-shirts, and more. Corporate sports, other sports, various things. Find out why Donnie Schatz, Brian Brown, Danny Dietrich, and others choose Classic Ink at ClassicInkUSA.com. That's www.ClassicInkUSA.com. And looks like Schatz is not only rolling along, but has a pretty good bank of knowledge with some of the things they did early season as they roll along as well.
Yeah, that was interesting to hear him talk that they tried it, but they're learning. And we all know the summer is when Donnie really kicks in. So as if 10 wins wasn't,
Yeah.
He calls this a not-so-good year so far.
Average, yeah.
Less than average, yeah.
Yeah, if there's another sprint car driver out there that would like to have an average season, raise your hand, guys and gals. That's pretty stout. But I think that's the thing. I'm always so impressed with him and Ricky is that they've taken time and they've ran on that tire. From everyone we've talked to, it sounds like they might have ran on that tire more than anybody than we have. Oh, that's good news for everybody as we sort through the summer months. So that's Donnie Schatz, and that's why he is, Donnie Schatz and winning races all the time. We need to step away. Another racer that's won a lot of races over the course of time, including this season, is Sam Hafertepe Jr. He joins us next.
Hi, I'm Dale Blaney, and you're listening to Wing Nation on MotorRacingNetwork.com.
The 25th year of the Lucas Oil American Sprint Car Series is about to begin.
Expanded national and regional tours, over 150 events across the United States, and some of sprint car racing's biggest names and rising stars.
The 25th anniversary of the Lucas Oil ASCS is one you don't want to miss. Find out when the American Sprint Car Series is near you in 2016 at ASCSRacing.com. Find us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter,
and get all the action away from the track live at RacingBoys.com.
Hi, I'm Jeff Gordon. Did you know that 43 children are diagnosed with cancer each and every day? That more children die from cancer than any other disease? Athletes of all ages are dedicating their stats to change these stats, and you can too. Visit JeffGordonChildren'sFoundation.org to become a Kick It champion. No matter what sport, you can use your points, laps, or goals to change the odds for kids with cancer. Make your stats really count. Become a Kick It champion.
O'Reilly.
Restore lost fuel economy and eliminate rough idle with Lucas Fuel Injector Cleaner. Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, buy 2 bottles of Lucas Fuel Injector Cleaner and get 1 free. Clean clogged injectors and increase fuel efficiency with Lucas Fuel Injector Cleaner. Buy 2, get 1 free at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limits apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is Winged Nation on MRN.com. Now, back to Steve Post and Erin Evernham.
We are having an absolute ball, and we're glad you joined us here on MRN Wing Nation. Let's go back to the Hercules Tire Hotline, a man who is making his way west, getting ready to go up to the Northwest for Lucas Oil ASCS Racing this weekend. Sam Hafertepe Jr. is on the line. Hello, Sam. Welcome back to the show.
Yeah, it's great to be back on with you guys.
Well, congratulations on you won the Speedweek title. You've got a number of wins this season. Kind of assess how things have gone for you on the ASCS Tour, Sam.
We started off a little choppy at the beginning of the year, but, here lately in the last couple of months, we've been clipping off some wins and gaining a lot of momentum, and car's been really good lately.
Sam, how important is it to get that win on night one of a Speedweeks? Like, how much did that affect the rest of your Speedweeks and set the momentum?
Well, it just kind of takes a little bit of the pressure off. It helped us, too, because we were behind in points on Johnny at the time, and kind of got us evened up with him, and it allowed us to race more freely the rest of the week and, just kind of not have so much pressure put on us.
That is interesting. It really is amazing what that does. Sam, we followed your career, obviously, and you're from Texas, ran a year or two on the World of Outlaw Tour, ran a year or two of kind of a true outlaw schedule, and settled in here to the Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour. Why does this work so well for you, this tour that Emmett Hahn has done so much work and put together? Why does it work so well for you?
Well, location for me is a huge deal. Obviously, right now we're in Washington. I talk about location, but normally we're racing, down there closer to home, and it's easier for us to get to travel to the races, and it's a great series. I mean, the whole package that he's put together between the tow money and the point fund, it's definitely a great series for us, and financially it seems the way to go for us right now.
So you're headed to the Dirt Cup. How many miles is that from Wheatland, Missouri?
Oh, it's right at 2,000 miles. We're not too far away. We're still traveling down the road right now. We're about 150 miles from Seattle.
What's a road trip? I mean, you're in the truck with. How do you do that? You're in the truck with the guys. What are you doing?
Yeah, we're just me and Ryan, the crew chief. We've been driving since Sunday after Wheatland, and we're not too far away. We've been on Interstate 90. It seems like forever.
Do you? I mean, are you one that wants to get to where you're going? Do you sightsee, stop at Graceland or something along the way? How are you? Are you a traveler that likes to get there, or do you like stopping and enjoying the journey a little bit?
No, there's no stopping for us. I mean, what we do is we race, and that's what we're out here for. It's not a vacation. It's one goal at task, and that's just to get to the racetrack and get ready for the next night, which is Thursday.
How excited are you to be back at Skagit where you won your first World of Outlaw race?
Oh, it's awesome. I love that place. Just for Rudine giving me the opportunity for the first time I got there, Dirt Cup, I don't even know how many years ago, and then they give me the opportunity to run with the Outlaws with them there too. The place means a lot to me. I have a lot of good memories there and a lot of good friends up there, so it's always good to get back out to Washington whenever I can.
Pretty amazing what Steve Beitler has put together there with the Dirt Cup weekend. And I think what's really interesting about it, of course, you and Johnny and Wayne and Aaron Reitzel, all of the Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour guys are going to be there. But last year you were greeted by some locals that gave you guys a world of a win. As a matter of fact, scored the win. What's that like? A pretty good, solid field of cars and a lot of strong equipment up there?
Oh, for sure. I mean, these guys, they race up here every week. A lot of the guys do. So, you'll deal with guys like Jason Solwell, he's pretty tough up there. You've got you just got a handful of guys that are pretty good around that place, and it's just like when the Outlaws go to a place where weekly competition. You know, when they go to Knoxville, they're going to have good guys to compete against. They go to Williams Grove, obviously, they got good guys there. And same way up here. I mean, these guys race here every weekend, and you know, we're coming to a place that they're more familiar with than we are, and we're just you know, hopefully with the experience we have, you know, that maybe works to our advantage in some parts of the race.
You say that Skagit is one of your favorite tracks, I believe I read. What makes it so favorable to you? Is it the surface? Is it the way the track goes during the night? What makes it so good for you?
Well, you know, they've changed the surface through the years a little bit, but you know, it's mainly just the momentum and the speed that it holds. I really like tracks that hold some type of speed. It can be a smaller track just as long as it holds momentum. I really enjoy racetracks like that, and Steve does a really good job on prepping the racetrack as well. And lately, I've heard a lot of good things about the place since they've resurfaced it, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting back up here and trying our hand at the dirt cup.
Well, Sam, we can't wait to follow along with the racing boys all weekend long to see how you fare up there at Skagit. We appreciate the time. Continued safe travels as you get closer and closer to your spot. But thanks for the time, and thanks and enjoy the continued success. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
There we go. That is Sam Hafertepe Jr. What a race car driver that is. Wow, man, that kid can wheel a car.
He can.
Wow. I saw him, the World of Outlaws, when came to Charlotte years ago. I was doing some stuff with Speed, I guess it was, and he won the pole position. I got a chance to talk to him there the first time. And he's just he is a hardcore racer right there.
I went to a driving school, fast track driving school at Charlotte with him. Oh, gosh, I'd have to be like 2003 or 4. He was really young. And he, at the time, was trying to come the stock car route.
Yeah.
But I think he found his love in sprint cars and stayed there.
Yeah, he's doing so great, and what a great element of the Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour. It's the 45th Annual Jim Raper Memorial Dirt Cup presented by Jack in the Box. Thursday and Friday night, they're running preliminary nights where all drivers compete. They rack up points, and then that will set the field, starting lineups, A's, B's, C's, and D's. For Saturday night, $15,000 to win. Really, really cool. RacingBoys.com is your spot for it. For live play-by-play action, you can go on there and check out what they've got. And I believe this is also one that they're going to record for MAV TV. So it is going to be big up at the Dirt Cup. And that is another one of those. It's so funny as we talk across the country. It's like, have you been here? No, it's on my bucket list. Have you been here? No, it's on the Dirt Cup and Skagit's on the bucket list. I mean, one of these days I'm going to have to start checking some stuff off this bucket list.
That was on my – well, it is on my bucket list to go watch, but it was to drive in.
Really,
I think those days are past me.
I just love Steve Beitler, and I run into Steve at various places across the country, but there is a promoter, former racer.
Yep.
There's a promoter that's heart is where it belongs, and he's you know, we talk about, well, he's a racer. Well, Steve Beitler is a racer.
Yeah.
And then he's turning this into a business, but he has that racer in mind as well.
A good guy in general.
And a great guy. Oh, my gosh, great guy. So good stuff. We'll be following along all weekend long. The National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum, always open for business. You can find out more information there at sprintcarhof.com. And they are in the middle of their Expand the Dream project, which they're continuing facility expansion and endowment campaign. So we always talk about birthdays. And tomorrow, he's no longer with us, but a birthday really special to you, Erin. Speedy Bill Smith. Tell us about him.
He's just was an incredible person. I mean, if you don't know anything about him, just Google it or check out. You know, Speedway Motors has an incredible catalog of hot rod parts and sprint car and modified parts. But he's got an incredible museum just outside of Omaha, Nebraska, and just an awesome person. He had Opperman drive for him and Wolfgang. A list of drivers that he had is incredible. And I had the chance to meet him years ago, I think the first time I ran Knoxville. And I don't think he was too fond of the idea of a woman driving a sprint car.
Right.
But I think I won him over. Maybe not the first night, but I did eventually. And he nicknamed me the Queen of Speed.
Really?
Yes.
So a nickname from Speedy.
Yeah, and that's big. Not everyone gets a nickname from Speedy. So the Queen of Speed. And got to be really good friends with him, tried to visit every time we were out in Knoxville if he wasn't going to make it to the track. And unfortunately, like you said, he passed away a few years back and went to the services and still keep in touch with his sons who now took over the business.
That is so cool.
You need that. Talking about bucket list, you need to put his museum on your bucket list.
That sounds really, really cool. They've even got an Aaron Crocker wing, Aaron Crocker building.
Queen of Speed, little section, one of my fire suits.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Wow, I guess you did win him over.
He was my bud.
That's good. That is really cool. Lincoln, Nebraska native, fell in love with cars early. 1952, he borrowed $300 from his wife, Joyce, to start a little 20 by 20 storefront, working on cars, building engines, hot rods, fun things like that. Grew into a huge mail order business and a manufacturing empire, and is known as America's oldest speed shop. You mentioned the cars that he fielded for. He also fielded some NASCAR cars. Tiny Lawn Johnny Beauchamp, as well as Jan Opperman, Doug Wolfgang, won the 1978 Knoxville Nationals with Wolfgang. Passed away in 2014, just shy of his 85th birthday. Wow. I love when we talk about him, and then I love, because, I mean, I've shared with everybody that I don't have the backstory in this sport like you, like Kendra, you know, I mean, even Ashley up in Pennsylvania, everyone knew little Ashley growing up. I don't have that story, so I just love when something comes together, and I said to you before the show, do you know this Speedy? Oh, my gosh, you knew him. And because you could tell the story a whole lot better, and that's the beauty of the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame is, you tell the story. The fun part I always love about going to the Sprint Car Hall of Fame is who's inside there.
Yeah.
Because you never know. There's always someone, and I'll use Shane Carson as my example.
He's always in there.
He's always there. But there's always someone like Shane Carson that's there. I got to show you this. He'll point at a plaque and say, this guy did this, and then you get the story, just like we just did. So really, really cool. The SprintCarHof.com. That's www.SprintCarHof.com. Also, the largest inventory of sprint car-related merchandise in the world on their website. Now, I have always said that if I ever make the mistake of getting into a situation where there has to be a marriage registry again, I'm registering at the Sprint Car Hall of Fame. That's where I'm going to register.
There's some good stuff in there. We've stepped up our game at the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, you guys, I mean, I go in there. I've got to watch going in there because I just – and prices are great. Everything is great. There's no complaints about it. The problem of it is I want one of everything.
Yeah. I like to shop in general, and even
that would be even
The cool thing I think too is the selection of books they have, because it's hard to find books that, I mean, in general right now it's hard to find books. Yeah, exactly. But especially ones that talk about the history of sprint car racing. They're not going to go to your local Barnes & Noble and pick up a sprint car book, because they've got an incredible selection of books.
It is fantastic. It is heaven on earth, the Sprint Car Hall of Fame. It really is. I mean, it's an absolute place. And remember, folks, if you hear that the postman has gone down that fatal road that's where I'm going to be registered at if you care to get
They have an Aaron Crocker section there, too.
They have an Aaron, everyone. Well, and we have.
Car I Won the Outlaw.
That's right. That's right is in there. Yeah, that's right. Man, that place, that is just one of those places you could just go to. The funny thing of it is you can go there one day and you're like, okay, man, I really got everything out of that. You go back the next day and it's like, what did they do? Did they change everything? Because I missed I mean, that's how good it is.
And like you said, especially during the Nationals, you never know who you're going to bump into there. That's what happens to me. I don't make it very far. I end up chit-chatting with everyone along the way.
Oh, the Nationals there, man. That is great. SprintCarHof.com. That's www.SprintCarHof.com. We need to step away. Alan Kreitzer, promoter of Lincoln Speedway and one of the founder and organizers of Pennsylvania Speedweeks, joins us. Now, if you tuned in last week to Wing Nation, and I believe you probably did because our numbers were through the roof, you heard Danny Dietrich talking a little bit about the fabulous Lincoln Speedway. Danny has some issues right now with that and not too happy with it. We don't really generally get into conflict too much around here. We kind of just stay with having fun with it. But when we do get into conflict, we like to reach out and say, okay, this one a little bit hacked off at you. Would you like to come on and defend yourself or talk about it? We reached out to Alan Kreitzer, and Alan has made the decision that he wants to come on and talk, and we want to talk to him about Speedweeks as well, and Lincoln, and even Selinsgrove, which he runs part of it. Alan said, just as soon focus forward. So the Danny Dietrich stuff is something we're not going to focus on. We're not going to worry about. We're going to look forward because it is Pennsylvania Speed Week coming up, and I can't wait to hear all about how this all got going and how they put it together because it's an amazing time. I've loved it. I can't wait to get up there. So Alan Kreitzer, he joins us next.
Hi, I'm Craig Kinzer, and you're listening to Wing Nation on MotorRacingNetwork.com.
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there, whether you're running on dirt or running a job. Our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice: Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, right on our strength.
Don't miss 2 big nights of sprint car action at the all-new Jackson Motorplex this week. Thursday night, it's the USAC National Sprint Car Series, brought to you by the Minnesota Mafia. Watch Brady Bacon, Dave Darlin, Robert Ballou, and more non-wing stars battle it out on the big half mile. Then on Friday, it's the return of the World of Outlaws Craftsman Sprint Cars, brought to you by Billion Ford of Clear Lake and BillionAuto.com. Ticket info at JacksonMotorplex.com. Racing action starts at 7:30 p.m. both nights. The all-new Jackson Motorplex in Jackson, Minnesota. You just gotta be there.
Stay up to date with the latest news from the NASCAR Garage weekdays on NASCAR Today, midday.
We can enhance the fans' experience, and I think that's what we really need to zero in on and provide.
Hear from the drivers and teams as they chase the 2016 championship trophy.
Change is good in our sport. It re-energizes people, makes everybody, step up to the plate, so to speak.
NASCAR Today, midday, weekdays on the Motor Racing Network, your source for NASCAR news.
Time now for a look at a great American dirt track presented by another great American dirt track, the Speed Palace, Port Royal Speedway.
This is Ashley Stremme. Rich in racing history, Selinsgrove Speedway in Penn Township, Pennsylvania, was built in 1945 by the legendary Joey Chitwood on what was originally a farm. The first race at Selinsgrove was held on July 20th, 1946, and was won by 1949 Indy 500 winner Bill Holland. Finishing second was the man who would win the very first NASCAR-sanctioned race in 1948 at Daytona Beach Road Course and would be NASCAR's first Sprint Cup champion, Red Byron. Selinsgrove began hosting weekly racing in 1950. During the early 50s, the track announcer was Hall of Fame motorsports writer and announcer Chris Economaki, who called his first ever race at Selinsgrove. Strong weekly racing and visits by major touring national and regional touring series makes Selinsgrove a go-to destination for fans and racers alike. Darren Pittman holds the 410 sprint car track record at 120 miles per hour set in 2011, and Tony Stewart holds the 360 track record at 111 miles per hour set in 2013. This year, Selinsgrove will hold the final race of the 2016 Pennsylvania Speedweeks on Sunday, July 3rd. Selinsgrove Speedway, a great American dirt track brought to you by another great American dirt track, the Speed Palace, Port Royal Speedway.
Wow, just love hearing the stories about these racetracks. Ashley does so much, so great with that stuff. It is the Great American Speedway. Selinsgrove is our focus this week. And when you go on our Facebook page at the top of the hour, 1 o'clock Eastern time on Tuesday, if you have a favorite clip, a favorite memory, or a favorite story from Selinsgrove, we're asking for them on there because we love talking about Selinsgrove Speedway and all other aspects of Central Pennsylvania sprint car racing. It is a big week coming up in Central Pennsylvania. Let's go back to the Hercules Tire Hotline. One of the organizers of Pennsylvania Speed Week, Lincoln Speedway, and involved at Selinsgrove as well. Alan Kreitzer's on the line. Hello, Alan. Welcome to Wing Nation.
Well, thank you very much. How are you?
I am fantastic. Now, are you getting rested up, Alan? You getting geared up? You getting your game ready for a busy couple of weeks?
You better believe it. We're looking forward to seeing you at Path Valley for the Party in the Path event.
Oh, man, I'm telling you what. I think that's the cool part, Alan, about Pennsylvania Speed Week is the individual events. I mean, of course, you got Williams Grove kicking it off on Friday night. What you guys do at Lincoln is phenomenal on Saturday night. $7,000 to win this weekend for the race. Path Valley, everyone loves going to Grandview, Hagerstown. Pennsylvania Speed Week, Alan, just tell us real quickly how it evolved. How did it all get started? Where did this come from?
Well, it started, this is our 26th annual event for Pennsylvania Sprint Car Speed Week. And this year, it started out with just 3 speedways. It was Williams Grove, Susquehanna, and Lincoln. And each of the 3 tracks, I think Williams Grove and Lincoln both ran twice. Susquehanna ran once, and that was it. So it really started to develop. The fans took to it. The racers supported it, and it's grown over the years. And this year we're offering over $250,000 in prize money. There's a $16,000 point fund. 4 of the events pay more than $5,000 to win. So it's a big event, and the racers look forward to it all year, and the Central PA fans really support it, as you well know from being at Path Valley.
Alan, how difficult is it to organize Speed Weeks when you first go to other promoters and you have to pick nights that they're going to race on? I mean, how difficult is it to organize the whole thing?
Well, it was difficult at first, to try to put everybody together. And one of the things that we did was to ensure that when a track had a night that the other sprint car tracks would not race. For example, you have Lincoln and Port Royal, who both race on Saturday nights on a regular basis throughout the year. But what we did is we've alternated, and then all the drivers are at both tracks on any given night that they have for Speed Week. So that's really made the series special. You get all the best of Central PA at the tracks, and for one series, it's 9 events, and it really does. It's quite a test for the teams, for the drivers, to get the cars ready and keep them performing throughout the week. So it's a fun event and a real test, and the champion certainly deserves it.
It is. It is absolutely amazing. The teams are not going to rest much over the next 10 or 12 days up in central Pennsylvania. Alan, you mentioned something, and I've talked a number of times to Steve O'Neill, the promoter up at Port Royal, and we kind of go around this sprint car world, and we everyone gets along for the most part. Once in a while people get into little dust ups, but I think the relationship that you and Steve O'Neill and Lincoln and Port Royal have is absolutely amazing. How important is that for you two? Even though you compete a lot of times on the same night, how important is that for you guys to work together for the overall good of the sport?
Well, I think it's helped both of us really, and the Speed Week show, that's been the keystone of our success, would be that the tracks work together to make this a big event. And throughout the year, we do work here at Lincoln Speedway with Port Royal on scheduling and trying to maximize the efforts of both places. And Steve's a great guy, and he and I have known each other for a lot of years and have worked together on other things throughout the years. So it's been a natural, I think, for us to do, and it's benefited both speedways.
What's the most challenging thing as a promoter for Speedweeks? Is it keeping the racers happy? Is it filling the stands? Is it watching the weather? What's the most challenging part?
Well, I think the most challenging part would probably be keeping Danny Dietrich off of Twitter. But really, other than that, I think we're okay. We have, of course, the biggest ingredient, Kendra, is in fact the weather. That's the number one thing. The forecast right now is looking pretty good for the end of this week. Friday, Saturday, Sunday are looking very good, and of course that's critically important, and that's something you really can't control. Everything else we try to put in place and just get a series together and let the racers take over and put on great events for the fans.
Well, man, that's fantastic. Wow, that is, and it is. And I know every time I talk to a promoter, they say, "Well, the weather looks good." That is the promoter's nightmare or the promoter's dream. That's for sure. Alan, when we talk about putting the schedule together, and I know that a lot of tracks are locked in really, really well. As time has evolved in central Pennsylvania, Susquehanna Speedway has changed ownership, changed management. Where do they stand as far as Speed Weeks go? And I know then they put this show on Thursday night in front of it, which is kind of awkward. I'm going to it. I'm looking forward to getting down there because I've never been to the racetrack. But where does that sound? And when you have a situation like this, how do you navigate these waters?
Well, I think what happens in this particular case is that Susquehanna, as you say, did change management. Scott Gobrecht's in there at this point and doing a great job, he and Colton Gauss. And we had our schedule for 2016 put together pretty much back in December. And Susquehanna was coming on. Now, they've done a great job. They've had some great sprint car events. And I would certainly expect in the future here that we're going to include Susquehanna in our Speed Week program and have them a regular date that they can have in Speed Week and have the fans participate. And, of course, the competitors would look forward to that as well. So I think that's something that's going to evolve. It just didn't come together for 2016.
That is a challenge, I know, and you've got to work on those schedules so far in advance, and with moving targets like that, it is a challenge. One of the other things that is a moving target, and I just absolutely am so excited because you got my bud working up there at Selinsgrove Speedway. You and Mike Hefner and some other folks have gotten together and working up at Selinsgrove. Midway through the first season, how have things gone up there?
Really pretty good. Steve Inch is the actual promoter. He's been doing a great job, put a good schedule together. The 360 racing up there has been very good so far. Mike Hefner's taken a very active role in Selinsgrove, and he's been up there most Saturday nights while his car's winning at Port Royal. Mike's actually had his promoter's hat on and been at Selinsgrove, and he's done a great job up there, is very interested in what's going on, has a lot of great input. So he's done a great job. Steve's done a good job. And I think it's been well received. We've had good support from the fans. The competitors are with us, trying to get things turned around a little bit. So I think it's on the right track, Steve. I appreciate your asking.
Alan, once we get through Speed Weeks here, what are other big events that are left on the Lincoln schedule throughout the year?
Well, we do have, of course, the Speed Week race. and then we actually go on the night that Port Royal runs their Speed Week event. That's July the 2nd. We have a big race for our 358s. But we have big events throughout the year. On the 16th of July, the John Gleim night, that's 410 Super Sprints and Super Sportsmen, and Central PA Legends. Probably our biggest event of the year, though, comes in September when we host the third annual Dirt Classic. Of course, that's in conjunction with Jared Adams and the Casey Kane Foundation, and that'll be a $20,000 to win event. That's something that we've tried to get established here at Lincoln the third year, and that's really taken off. Great support from the fans and the competitors alike. So I would say after we get through Speed Week here, we have a lot of good shows. We have the All-Stars on Saturday, August the 20th, and then, of course, we point to the big race, the Dirt Classic on September the 24th.
I can tell you, Alan, that drivers across America have circled that Dirt Classic.
Yeah.
I know talking to Terry McCarl, guys in the Midwest, and I spent this past weekend in Ohio, and they're all talking about it as well. That Dirt Classic is quickly becoming one of the go-to events of the year. Alan, look forward to it. I'm actually will be up there and catching action at Williams Grove, Lincoln, and Path Valley this weekend as far as Pennsylvania Speedweeks. Can't wait to get up there. Oh, yeah, by the way, you still have, Sensing's Barbecue is still at Lincoln, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
That's correct,
Okay,
Steve.
and-
We'll have that fired up for you when you get here. I'll make sure they
Okay.
put another one on.
Okay, and Shorty's Funnel Cakes. We still have Jonda with Shorty's Funnel Cakes, right?
Jondra's still here. Yeah, she'll be doing that. Yeah, they're all here, Steve. Really, you can sample them all.
It is the best food I've ever read at a racetrack. I'm not saying that because you got you on the line, Alan. I love the food offerings at Lincoln, and it is great. All part of the great experience. Thanks for the time. Good luck with Speed Weeks. We'll look forward to catching up with you on Saturday.
Thank you very much, and we direct all the fans to our website. PASpeedweeks.com has the schedules, the payoffs, everything you need to know. And thanks again.
PASpeedweeks.com. That's Alan Kreitzer. How about that? And, this food. Just follow Twitter. You'll see what I'm talking
Now,
about.
how does this work into the new diet workout regimen?
There are days off from the diet, and when I know I'm going to Lincoln Speedway, that's off from
one
the
of them.
diet. There is no way. That place, I've always thought Lincoln's food was great. There's a guy that writes for Area Auto Racing News, Guy Smith, and he does roaming the raceways, and he's been like to 1,200 racetracks across the world. He does different racetracks. He's a track chaser. Not a race chaser. Yeah. Race chasers go to number of races. He's a track chaser. And Guy Smith has said Lincoln Speedway has probably the best food as far as racetracks as well, too. Yeah. It's cool. Fantastic. Oh, gosh, I can't wait to get there. We need to step away. More MRN Wing Nation in just a moment.
I'm Danny Holcraver, and you're listening to Wing Nation on MotorRacingNetwork.com.
The National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum in Knoxville, Iowa.
Honoring sprint car racing's greatest achievers.
25 historic sprint cars on display. A movie theater featuring sprint car racing film. And a breathtaking view of historic Knoxville Raceway. Go to SprintCarStuff.com for the largest sprint car gift shop on the planet. The National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum in Knoxville, Iowa.
Racers, that's who Valco Wheels are. That's who they know, and racing is what they know. Valco Wheels focus is oval track and grassroots racing, and understand racers need a quality wheel that fits your budget. With over 25 years experience, Valco Wheels produces the best product and give you face-to-face support and customer service at the track. Fast delivery, innovative products, problem solving. Find Valco Wheels at Valco.com on Twitter or Facebook, or call Valco Wheels at 609-758-7013. Valco Wheels.
Race cars are finely tuned for maximum performance. Freightliner trucks are too, taking into account all the factors that drive your profitability and lower your real cost of ownership. Efficient aerodynamic designs paired with the integrated Detroit powertrain maximizes fuel efficiency, uptime, quality, connectivity, and safety to give truckers peace of mind and a better return on investment. Find out how to lower your real cost of ownership at rco.freightlinertrucks.com.
Hi, I'm Casey Kane. Now back to Wing Nation.
Thank you, Casey. Having a great time here on MRN Wing Nation. Enjoyed my trip up to Ohio, but along the way found the scary news about Brad Hodenshoe.
Yeah, very scary.
Brad is Sheldon's cousin, Jack's nephew, Ed's son, I believe it is. And about 2 weeks ago, Brad started having some pain in different parts of his body, and then ultimately ended up in the hospital, which seemed like it might have been a stroke. Not sure really what's going on there. He's been released from the hospital, and the symptoms have pretty much gone away other than just weakness from fighting with it. But it's a mystery right now. They set it up a FundMe page, and you can go to MRN's Facebook or Wing Nation's Facebook account, and it's right on there. And we'll bump it back up toward the top here along the way. And Lindsay, his sister's been updating with what they're doing as well. So our thoughts and prayers really for Brad Hodenshield. And right now, I mean, I guess his health is all right in that he's out and he's out and about. But there's still this mystery as to what caused this body seizing up, for lack of a better example, on him. So certainly wish the best for Brad Hodenshield. Time now for our Jeff Gordon's Kick It Person of the Week. I love Waynesfield Raceway Park, and when I heard this story, I just thought this was really, really cool. The track is owned by Greg and Tammy Shoby, and I hope I got their name right. Tammy runs the Children's Medical Mission, and it's a faith-based charity. Okay? What Tammy does is they provide necessary medical services from children from third world countries. So they identify the children, bring them to America where they stay with host families, and they get the medical care that they need. Okay? So they work with the host families, and they work with the medical facilities to get this done at no charge for the kids. Okay? Listen to this. In 14 years, 380 kids have been helped.
That's incredible.
By the Children's Medical Mission. No staff is paid. They work for free. And all money donated and used is for travel to get the kids, airline tickets and travel. Waynesfield's 50-50, that portion of it that the track would normally get or the point fund would normally get, it goes to the Children's Miracle Mission. So every time you're at Waynesfield Raceway Park and you buy a 50-50 ticket, you're helping a kid.
That is very cool.
Really, really cool. So our salute this week is to Sherry Shoby. Greg and Sherry run the Speedway, Tammy Shoby. Tammy Shoby, she runs the racetrack up there, and just absolutely a great, great charity. Looking forward to this weekend as I get back out to Pennsylvania. I'm going to hit that show in Susquehanna on Thursday night. Going to hit Williams Grove on Friday. Going to hit Lincoln with the barbecue and Shorty's funnel cake. Jonda, the girl, I have friends. Jonda is at the funnel cake stand. That was from my old fat guy era, but I'm not going to lose a friend over this.
Well, you can. You can't
lose a friend. It's for my friend Jonda. So she does deep fried Oreos for me.
Oh, they're so good.
And she puts, not only does she put hot fudge on them, but also caramel on them as well, and the powdered sugar.
That sounds delicious.
Oh, my gosh. It's going to be fantastic. And then Sunday, the party at the Path. Listen to what Fred's doing this time, okay? Noon, the party begins, okay? It is a barbecue, some food, some drinks, and all kinds of good fun, a band, music, games, everything else. It's just fantastic. 2 o'clock, 1,800 horsepower tractor and truck pulls.
Oh, that's
up
neat.
There in the afternoon, and then at night, the Pennsylvania Speedweek race. Really what it boils down to is cross-promoting, okay? The tractor and tractor pullers, they wanted to promote to some new fans. So they said, hey, we'd like to see what the sprint car fans think of this. Well, Fred wants to get new fans into sprint cars, so he says, let's see what the pullers like to do. And so it all works together, and it's called the Party at the Path, and can't wait for that. Our friends at Jackson Motorplex, man, they have got a big one this weekend, and I hope Mother Nature shines on them because it has been nasty up there. Just nasty. Thursday night, USAC sprints. Friday night, World of Outlaw Craftsman sprints in the regular Saturday program. Jackson Motorplex, man, what they've done up there, and you just hate to see all of this enthusiasm with all of the rebuilding get clobbered by Mother Nature seemingly every Friday night. Hopefully this weekend is the night that they break it loose with USAC sprints on Thursday, World of Outlaws on Friday, Saturday night. Articat All-Star Circuit of Champions Week continues tonight. Sharon Speedway, the Buckeye Bullet returns. Dave Blaney, he ran a modified up at Brewerton on Friday night, and I guess the fuzziness that he had while racing is all gone now.
That's great
so he's
news.
good to go. So he's racing tonight at Sharon. Wednesday night, Atomic Speedway, Lima Land, and Eldora Speedway. Sprint Invaders and URC are also racing Wednesday night this week along the way. World of Outlaws, Friday night at Jackson. Saturday night, they hook into the IRA Sprinters at Beaver Dam. 45th Annual Jim Raper Memorial Dirt Cup is up at Skagit. Pennsylvania Speed Week, not a part of Speed Week, is Susquehanna Speedway on Thursday, but Williams Grove, Lincoln, Path Valley this week. King of the West is at Calistoga. Weekly 410 racing, Jacksonville, Illinois, River City Speedway, Atomic Badlands, Butler, Knoxville. Oh, Knoxville, by the way. National Sprint League race in there as well. Mercer, St. Francis County. This week, oh, folks, you're going to love this week's MRN Wing Nation presented by Sage Fruit on MAV TV. A.J. Flick. Have you ever met him?
Yes.
Great. Oh, my gosh, this kid. Folks, you got to tune in. I could tell you the story, but Craig's yelling in my ear that we're almost time to leave, too. The Strummies are coming in, by the way, as well. So AJ Flick going to join us on MAV TV, and Greg Hodnett going to be our guest on Wing Nation Weekend presented by Hepner Racing Products. That is up on Thursday. Mentioned the Strummies are coming in. They're going to talk about tire soaking and all kinds of stuff going on in the late model world. Hey, thanks to Donnie Schatz. Thanks to Sam Hafertepe Jr. Thanks to Alan Kreitzer. But more important than all of that, thank you for joining us here on MRN Wing Nation presented by Hercules Tires. We'll talk to you again real soon.
You've been listening to the nation's premier winged sprint car radio program, Winged Nation. Tune in next Tuesday at noon for more talk from the dirt tracks. Winged Nation is also available on demand in the MRN.com Media Center or download from iTunes or Stitcher. Winged Nation is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.